Here we go, let's kaboom it. Failure! Alright, let's go, let's get this done. No mercy. Failure number 2. Okay, attempt number 3. Let's do this. Alright, let's get it. Let's keep it up. Let's see what we got. This is attempt number 15. Failure number 15. Let's do this. I don't know why it's popping back. We clean all the detergent off of the rim and the wheel. So we'll keep trying to figure this out. Alright, let's keep at it. Kaboom! Oh shit. Let's kaboom this. Come on. What the hell? Let's kaboom this. Let's go. Running out of starter fluid. Hopefully get seated. There it is. Popped right in. Good, good, good. So basically, I wasn't putting enough starter fluid. We're trying to go 5 inches of stretch. So it sits right on the wheel groove. This was attempt number 20. This is tire number 2. The first one wasn't as bad. This time around, I think because we got a different starter fluid with other lubricants, it's probably sliding the wheel back or the tire back off the off that groove. So it's actually I'm gonna go up to about 40, 44 max and pull. We did it! Yay!
Morning, my peeps. Hope you're having a blessed day. Just wanted to go over some of the things I learned from this experience. As you noticed, a few weeks ago, I posted a video on Facebook that went viral. I had over 500,000 views, almost 600,000 by now, for this tire stretching technique that was implemented a few years ago. Anyways, I have these 13-inch wheels for my rears. They're custom 3-piece made, and I waited about 3 months for these guys to come in. So 15 by 13 and basically 15 by 10 for the front. This is going on 94 Miata MX-5. So got some Mickey Thompson wheels. These are street legal slicks or racing tires, and I went to like 5 different shops and they all recommended each other. So after several visits, we had the big KABOOM experience, and that went pretty global. That was posted just for fun. You know, thank God nobody really got hurt. Actually, the guy that did use the air tank, he got hurt pretty bad. But as far as like blood or anything like that, that I know of, no one else was hurt. But anyways, I learned a lot on YouTube. I watched several videos, and I just wanted to kind of show you what I did and what I've learned. Obviously, do not do this at home. Don't be Coco Loco like me and do it at home. So I said, you know, no one wants to do it. I'm kind of stuck. I need these guys stretched and fitted. And I decided to, you know, go forward with it. So obviously, as you saw in the video, I was extremely careful. Had a face shield, which I highly recommend. And make sure you use some sort of pole or some sort of extension where you can spray with the starter fluid and ignite it, so that you have something to ignite the actual fluid. So I used in the beginning a rag, and that kind of stayed lit and stayed on fire, so I didn't want to use that. So I decided to spray the tip of this aluminum post that I used to, it's actually a pool skimmer. So I extended it maybe, you know, 10 feet, 12 feet. And on the first round, the first wheel that I successfully accomplished in a couple of tries, yeah, the skimmer, I had placed it too close to the lip, and it pinched the outer lip, I guess, or the inside. It kind of collapsed it, so the whole thing fell apart, and I ended up using the spray right over it. So I didn't use the rag anymore. I didn't want it to get pinched inside. So after several tries and several attempts, I made some adjustments accordingly. I started with minimal sprays, basically spraying, you know, each corner, no south, east, and west, couple of spurts, as recommended by a lot of videos on YouTube. And these guys, you know, really know what they're doing, and they've been doing it for a long time, and they've been very successful. But since we're stretching maybe 5 inches, you know, on the rears, and I think 4 on the fronts weren't too bad. That was handled at a shop. I won't mention any names. And yeah, so the rears, you know, they had a hard time with the rears, so I figured, let me just give this a shot. So what I've learned was, you definitely need a 5-gallon bucket. You want to make sure you get a bucket, fill it with a 50-pound bag of sand. You can actually put the bag inside, or you can just dump it inside. I ended up using the cover, and I duct taped it down to protect the wheel. The face of the wheel is going to go facing down on the bucket. So I taped it down with duct tape so it doesn't like move around and end up scratching the surface or the finish on the face of the wheel. You want to take your valve caps off, obviously, and your valve cores. Those need to be removed. You want to use your compressor. Some videos suggested 10-20 pounds of pressure. I tried that, no success. Not enough pressure to keep it and hold it once it expands and stretches and gets seated on the actual groove of the rim. So I turned it up to probably 50 to maybe 75 pounds of pressure, of PSI, and that seemed to be working. But what happened was, I ended up spraying the starter fluid, which burns off a lot quicker than brake cleaner or other flammable sprays. So the brake cleaner fluid is really not recommended. Some videos did suggest it, but others said no, stay away from it. So if you were to try this, make sure you use starter fluid, not carburetor cleaner, more like starter fluid or spray. And make sure you do a test. You spritz a couple, you know, shots, and then test it to see how it works. So after multiple attempts, I kept adding more spray. At first, I was spraying, you know, a couple shots in each corner. Then I started misting 3 or 4, maybe 5 sprays in each corner. Then I started spraying it all over, and then a little bit on the wheel. So when you actually touch the wheel with the flammable gas, it'll reach inside and create the controlled explosion. And that's the goal. The idea is to, you know, control the explosion. So as you notice in the video, I put a 50-pound bag of sand on top of the wheel. So the wheel's facing down, you got protection, then you got a 50-pound bag, and that bag would jump every time it ignited. So imagine if I didn't have the 50 pounds of sand you know, in the wheel. The wheel would have been bouncing around, who knows, it might have gone 15, 20 feet up like it did in that video at the shop. So yes, if you're going to try this, be extremely careful. It is extremely dangerous. I had my father-in-law with me. He was making sure, you know, if anything happened, he was there to jump in and, you know, call 911 or turn the hose on and or the fire extinguisher. We had everything set up. You definitely want to have fire extinguisher ready. I ran out of lighter fluid, so I kept like, there was just all these little weird things that were going down. And as I was spraying, I noticed that it was dissipating because the compressor air was going early or before I sprayed. So my recommendation would be to spray the fluid first and then, you know, spray some of the fluid on the tip of the post or pole or whatever you're using. And that way you have it ready to go, or have somebody holding on to it as is already ignited. And once you plug your air compressor or you duct tape the handle, now you're forcing air inside. So that combined with the flammable fluid, it's going to create a mini explosion, which will stretch that tire and seat the actual tire beads on the wheel grooves. And that's the goal. One thing I learned was when I went to the tire shop to put the actual wheels on, they did charge me like 20 bucks to do them, just for two, I think $10 each. I was, you know, they were careful not to scratch the wheels, but they put this solution on there, which had, you know, I don't know if it's like soapy water or some sort of oil that was like not drying up and dissipating. So we ended up wiping that, because once it would expand and get seated, it would release, you know. So the bottom actually was sealed, which is good. This is why you want to use a bucket, so the rim is facing down. The wheel is now seated on the actual lip of the wheel, so now there's no air flowing outside of it through the bottom when you have the compressor on. So you want to make sure that the tire is pretty leveled, and after a couple of attempts it will kind of get, you know, tighten up down below, which is good. So once again, get your bucket, fill it with sand, protect the facing of your wheel with some sort of covering, duct tape it so you don't keep, you know, messing around or run the risk, whether it's a rag, a towel, or whatever it is. Use a 50-pound bag on the back of the wheel when it's facing down. Now you got 50 pounds holding that wheel down. Some people would use a ratchet and strap it down and tie it somewhere, but honestly the 50-pound bag worked really well. You want to make sure that you have somebody there to back you up, fire extinguisher, plenty of starter fluid as you're, you know, playing with it. You want to build your way up to it. Don't go crazy in the very beginning. You want to make sure you understand how many sprays is going to take, or how much spray, so that it really does the job. Yeah, so all my best. Stay blessed. Thank you for watching. I'll keep you guys posted. Take care.